Hey everybody, I'm back, and I'm here with here's the next tutorial. If you haven't seen the first video of setting up Kryon, then go back and watch that first. But in this tutorial, we're going to be creating an echo server. Pretty much what we're going to be doing is, it's kind of what it says. So the client says something to the server, and the server says it right back to him, so it echoes it back to him. Now going off the last tutorial, you should have this in your main file, and your project should look like this over on the side. So what we did so far was we created a server object, started the server, and then we binded it to the port 54555 on the TCP connection and 54777 on the UDP connection. Difference between UDP and TCP, it's kind of what the client connects to, the type of connection that it has. So TCP, when a client or server sends it to another client or server, TCP is sent where it sends a package and then it waits to continue on until the client or server receives it, so it won't continue on, and it guarantees that it gets there. With UDP, pretty much what it does is it sends it automatically and continues on. So when you want to get important information over, you want to use TCP, but when you want to get over like things that you update a lot that really don't matter, for example like positions of a player, you want to use this, UDP. And I'll show you, I'll explain more of that later on. But really we're kind of going to be copying and pasting for the most part, because Kryonet's GitHub gives a pretty good explanation of what to do and how to set it up. So if you haven't gone to it yet, if you're not, like, go to Google, type in Kryonet, go to the first link, go to the GitHub, and then you should be here. So if you scroll down, we already typed in this. What we're going to do is we're just going to copy this portion right here and paste it in. And then I'm going to explain to you what all of this does really quickly. Alright. So delete everything inside of the receive function and then import the connection from com. I can't even pronounce that. That Kryonet.connection, and then also import listener. Now what this does is really it adds a listener, a new listener, which you can see right here, where every single time a packet is received from a connection, it's going to call this function. So, for example, if the client sent some packet to the server, it's going to call this function, it's going to do whatever, so we can do whatever we want with it. So we can check to see what type of packet it is, we can print out something, we can add them to a list of clients that are connected, etc., etc., etc. So that's just the setup right now. Now, this is just for the server, so what we're going to do is we're going to start creating the client next. So what I want you to do right now is we're going to create a new project, and we're going to do some copy and pasting of files here. So we're going to do cryo client. Now for the source, I want you to copy these three sources over, just Control-C or right-click, copy, and just paste them into the source. And then same with the libs, so copy the libs folder, paste it into the client. And now once you've done that, right-click on the cryo client, go to Properties, go to Add Jars, go to Cryo Client, Libs, click on one, click on the bottom one while holding Shift, and then click OK. And now we should be set to go again. So when you create a new class, click on call main, no difference. You can use your own packages if you want, I really don't care. To me it really doesn't matter right now. Now inside of here, pretty much we're going to start up a client. So going back to here, I'm going to copy this code right here, so under connecting a client. And this just makes things go quicker. You don't have to type everything in, it's right there in front of you. Now what we're going to be doing is we are going to, well, I'm actually going to show you what this is doing right now. I'm going to add throws declaration. It won't throw it unless the server is not connected. Actually, what we can do is we can click on surround with try catch. Inside of here, do J option, I think it's pane, if I remember correctly, the show message dialog, and then do null so it doesn't have any parent, and then do pretty much centers it, and do server is not started, cannot connect. That's pretty much the only time that error is going to be thrown, so you don't have to worry about any other time. Now what it's doing, we're creating a new object, client object. We're starting the client, which is just getting everything set up with the server. And then we're connecting it to this IP address. So the first parameter is the timeout. So pretty much it's going to try and connect to it for 5 seconds. If it doesn't, it's going to throw the exceptions and call this right here, which we can actually show you right here. So if we start it up, there's going to be no connection, and in 5 seconds it will pop up with that error. There we go. Server is not started, cannot connect. Next thing is the IP that you're connecting to. So you're probably saying, how do I get my IP address? Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you go to your either programs, and you're going to run command prompt. Now inside of here, if you type in ipconfig and you press enter, pretty much it's going to show you a few different information. One of them is going to be your default address. So if you click on that, then or I'm sorry, if you don't click on it, it should say 192.168.something. Pretty much is going to be your IP. Or what you can do, because we're connected to our computer, it's just going to be our local host. We can do 127.0.0.1. The reason I didn't type it in on video is because it would give my IP address away. So right now this is the local host. Pretty much it's your own computer, so it's going to connect to this computer. Then the next parameter is the TCP port and the UDP port. Now you want to make sure that these are both the same as the one from your server. So in this case they're both the same right here. So there's no change in them, so they're going to connect to each other, no problem. So for example, we would start this up. Oh, address is already in use. Close that. Close that. We would start the server, start the client connects, and then disconnects because there's nothing to run. It doesn't have a while loop, it doesn't have any loop that keeps it going. So I'm going to end the server, and alright, we're going to continue on. Now the way that CryoNet works, or the way that I'm going to show you how to do networking, is by using something called packets. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new package, which is called packets, kind of keep it organized a little bit, delete that. Pretty much the way they're going to work is what we're going to do is we're going to send over these packets with different information, and then the server is going to receive it, or the client, it's going to be back and forth, it's going to receive it, and then it's going to parse it. So it's going to say what packet is this, depending on the packet it's going to do this, that, and that's how it's going to work. So let's see. Alright, so the first packet we're going to do is packet 1 connect. We'll do that just for the heck of it. So delete everything in it, and what we're going to do is we're going to do public string name. We'll do that for now. So you want to create a variable name in it, and you want to actually want to create a base file as well. Create a new packet and just call it packet, or a new class, call it packet, and make this empty. That was my tablet, probably just an email. Make it called packet, and then go back to packet 1 and do extends packet, and I'll show you why we're doing this in a second. Alright, so that should work there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new packet packet 1 connect object. So packet 1 connect p1 equals new packet 1 connect. And let's see, we're going to do p1.name equals baseball435. We'll do that for now. And now what we're going to do is we want to send it to the whatever the client's connected to. So in this case, our server. So we're going to do client.send TCP because we want the object to get there p1. So pretty much it's going to send that. Now before we can do that, we need to register the class with CryoNet. So when objects are sent over a stream, this doesn't have to do with CryoNet. Well, I guess it does, but it's behind the scenes. When in this function here, when a class is sent with over a stream, it has to implement something called serializable, which pretty much lets the packet or the class be coded and then let it be decoded when it reaches the server its destination. So what we're going to do is we're going to do client.getCryo.register, and then we're just going to do packet1 connect.class. Now we're going to have to do this for any class we want to connect to. This doesn't include strings, integers, floats, doubles, the basic things. Now say that you had a multi-dimensional array, or you had an array, for example, or an array list, you'll have to add that to there. So say you want to add like an array of ints, you have to do int like that, and then add that. So that would work fine. Sorry about him. But right now that's all we really need. So that should work. Now if we would, for example, if we ran this right now, I guess, give me a second, we have to stop that because it's not working, it's not connected. I mean, start the server first, and then if we start the client, pretty much nothing's going to happen. What we're going to do is we're going to get an error. The reason being, we don't have the packet, and this is from the server side, by the way, we don't have the packet serialized that's being sent, so we don't have that class serialized, so it can't deserialize it, and we're giving us an error. So what we have to do is we have to serialize this packet. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this this package here, so the packets package, and paste it to the server. That's just like an easy way to do it for now. Then go back to main, and under bind, do server.getCryo.register, and it's going to be no different. So packet1connect.class. So because we want to send it over and then import it as well. So because we want to send it over, sorry, I got bit by something, it's really itchy. We have to register as well. And we also have to register packet. Whoops. So if you copy this and paste it, just name this one the packet because that's being sent over. Packet 1 extends it, so technically it's sending over the packet as well. So do the same thing for the client. Copy, paste, packet. So that's sent over. And it doesn't have to be in any order, by the way. It doesn't matter. I just like to keep it organized. Now if we run both of them, we shouldn't have any issues. Let's run the crap. Let's run the server first, and then let's run the client. So as you can see, no errors this time. Connects and disconnects. So now you say, well, how do we know what's in the packet? How can we get access to it? Okay, so we're going to go back to this received function here, and we're going to do pretty much the connection is where the connection, or what IP address or what computer sent us this packet. The object is what was sent to us. So in this case, it's our packet class. So first we're going to do is we're going to do if. I'll explain what we're doing in a second. Object instance of packet. Pretty much what this is saying is if the object is one of the packets we have, because the server can receive different integer values, can receive really any value, and you want to make sure you're receiving the packet to be able to parse it. Otherwise, you'll get an error if it's not a packet, for example. Then we can do if object instance of packet1 connect. So if it's a packet1 connect object, if it's an instance of it, we can do packet1 connect p1 equals packet1 connect, and we're going to cast it here, object. So what this is doing is we're saying if the object is an instance of, otherwise if the object is this here, then we're going to go inside this loop, or I'm sorry, inside of this if statement, and create, we're going to cast the object to the packet1 connect because it is what it is, and then we can use that information. So once we get it, we can do system.out.println p1.name, and this should print us out baseball 435, and then it should just pretty much disconnect the client, and that should be it. So we're going to run the server, run this, there we go. So the server connected, printed out the name, and then the client disconnected because that was it. So that is that. Now let's actually do that echo thing that I was talking about. So what we want to do is we can go down here past that. We want to create a scanner object, so private scanner. Scanner, man, I haven't used this class in a while. I think it's system.in if I remember correctly. We will see. Yes, okay. So pretty much, let me just take a look at these methods again. No, private, static. And you can do this in a different thing. Make sure it's static because I'm in static function or method. Alright, let's see. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're pretty much going to get what the client wants to send. So we're going to do string line equals scanner dot, let me find, I guess it's next, right? Next would be next line if I remember correctly. Yeah, next line. So string line equals scanner dot next line. We can just debug this to make sure we're doing it right. We can print out the line if they would type it in. So let's see. Oops. Run the server, then run the client. And now if we go to the client window, we should be able to type this in. Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? So print it out before we quit out. So we have it correctly. Now what we want to do is we want to send this over to the server. What we're going to do is we're going to pretty much make a new packet. And this is going to be called packet2, what do you want to say? Line. Packet2 line, whatever it's saying. Sorry, this auto-generates, it's going to turn that off. Extends packet, so make sure it extends the packet, otherwise it won't go inside the for loop. Then simply copy the server. Actually, before you do that, do public string line. Now copy it over to the server, and then go into the main of the client. Copy this, go to packet2, and then line, and then we're just pretty much going to copy this. Oh, make sure you import it. If you press Control Shift and O, it imports the class automatically. Go back to the server, then we're going to paste it. I'm just going to copy this back over. Sorry if I'm going quick. I expect you guys to pause the video if you want to do it. I try to keep my videos at a reasonable length where you can kind of get the information quickly without having to watch me type everything in. That way you can skip between things. Helps more people out than hurts them. So. Sorry about that. Then pretty much after this we're going to parse to see if we get the packet1 object. So we're going to do else if object instance of packet2 connect, include this here, oops, so not connect, packet2 line, whoops, and now we're going to parse it again, so packet2, or we're going to cast it, I'm sorry, packet2 line equals packet2 line object, so we're getting the packet2, and then we're going to, we'll print it out here, so send out that print line, p2.line, excuse me, and then we can go up here and then we can say plus connected, so we'll say that whoever connected. Alright, and then it's going to print out the line, and that'll be that for now, then we'll have them send it back to us. Alright, so let's make sure everything's stopped here. Make sure you stop your server, otherwise you get a server already running error. And then, oh, actually come back to the client here in the main file, and then we're going to create a new packet2 line, p2 equals new packet2 line, create a new packet2 line object, do p2.line equals line, and then we're going to do client.send tcp p2. So pretty much what this is running through is really quick. We're creating a client, starting the server, connecting to ourselves, registering all the packets, or all the packets in this case, creating a new packet1 connect, giving the name, and then sending it to the client here over TCP. Then we're going to be getting the next line to type in, and then we're going to create a packet2, and then we are going to set the line of it and then send that to the client as well over TCP. And if you want, you can make this in a while loop if you wanted to. For now, we're just going to keep it at one thing. So that is sent to the client. The client receives it, and I'm sorry, it's the server. The server receives it, and then it's going to print it out here. So let's run the server, run the client, baseball 435 connected, and we'll do hey there server. So I print it, and then it said hey there server, and then the client disconnected because it's not a while loop, it just stops there. So what we want to do after that is we want to pretty much check to see, or actually I guess we want to send the packet back to the client to give it to them, and echo back out what they said. So we are going to, let me come back here, we're going to go back to that GitHub page, we're going to scroll down a little tiny bit, and out of the sake of ease, we're going to copy this here, client.addListener, blah 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 blah, go up here and go to the main, and then right before you register everything, it really doesn't matter actually, just before you send anything, paste that in there, delete the information side of the received method, import listener and connection, and then pretty much it's the same thing as the server. So when the client this time receives a packet or an object, it's going to call this function, so it works the same way. So what we're going to do is we're going to do if object instance of packet, and then if it's a packet, if object instance of packet2 line. Now what we're going to do is we're pretty much going to use the same packet here, and what the server is going to do, we send it to the server, that's correct, right? So we send it to the server, now the packet is going to take that same thing, it's going to set a different line text. So we might say you said, and then blah 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 what they said, and then send it back. So to me, using the same class, we want to create a new one for each thing we want to do. So if the client receives the packet2 line, we're going to do system. I guess we have to parse it first, or cast it first. Packet2 line p2 equals new packet2 line, and then we are going to do p2. Or we're going to do system.out print line p2.line. And then that is that. So if we have this correct, we can go back to the server main file. We can do we can say client said that. Now we can do p2.line. Actually, I guess we can create a we'll do p2.line equals u said plus p2.line. So what I'm doing here is pretty much just putting out the client said whatever they sent us. So whatever the client sent to the server, it's going to be saying it out loud. Then what I'm doing is I'm resetting the line variable. You can create a new object if you want. Just for the sake of ease, I'm going to keep it the same one. It doesn't really matter. And then I pretty much said I changed the text to you said, and then I'm changing it to what the client said. So it's taking that and then putting it back. If I want to do another way, I can do packet to line resend equals new packet to line. So I can create a new one and just do resend dot line equals you said and then plus p2.line. So it's the same thing. So it works the same way. Now we can do server, or we can do connection. So we can use the connection that was sent to us, connection.send TCP resend. So quickly running through this. Once the server receives the packet, it casts it to the line, prints out what they said. It creates a new packet2 line object called resend, sets the variable line to you said, and then plus whatever they said, and then sends it right back to them. When the server when the client gets it, it runs this method. It casts it to packet2 line and simply prints it out, and then it should end right after that. So if this works all correctly, let's run the server first. Alright, so server's open. Run the client. Baseball 435 connected. Hey there, sir. And then if we print it, let's see, did we get an error? No. Let's see what went wrong here. Alright. Let's see. Alright, so sent the line. Let me make sure that they receive it. Object system.out.print line. Oops. Received. You don't have to do this, I'm just debugging here. Server opened. Pausing. Well, I feel stupid. Pretty much what I was doing is I was typing it into the server, and that's why it wasn't working. So I feel pretty stupid. So it should work with no issue. So what I was saying was, if we run the server and the client at the same time, and make sure that we are on the client one, and you just type in "Hey there, sir," it should say "Client said hey there, sir." And now if you go back to the oh, you know what? It couldn't receive it because it ended. So actually, what we have to do, alright, so it did receive it. Client said, "Hey there, sir," and then it should send it back. So you said the client sends it back, but it didn't get it because the client stopped running. So if we do, let's see, we'll do while. I'm gonna create a new while loop right above string line. So while client is connected. So while the client's still connected to the server, we're pretty much just going to run this information. It's not going to stop. And then we can do if line dot equals ignore case exit. Then we will just break out of the loop. So that's how we can exit. So let's end everything, and we will restart it all. Alright, so it's all connected. Let's go to the client, test 1, 2, 3. Should print it out. Alright, we got null. Let's see why. Client said test 1, 2, 3. Let me see here. I moved this up, by the way, it shouldn't really matter. Alright, so if we go back to the server, and we should say resend.line equals, let's just try and send it with this for now. So, oops, already binded. Clearly, if you guys couldn't tell, I'm doing this on the go. I didn't really plan this out. I don't have anything sitting next to me. I'm just doing this off of memory. Let's go to client test 1. No, let's see why it's saying no. Give me 1 second, guys. I will. Oopsie. Give me 1 second. Once again, a very stupid mistake. if you come into the client and you go to packet2 line p2 in the listener, we should actually do packet2 line of the object. So it wasn't casting to it. I was creating a new object by accident, so setting the value of the string to null. So like we said, we should have this here. It should say useed plus p2.line, sends it back, and then now if we restart everything, I'm sorry about this, restart everything, go to the main, restart that, type in the other one. Type in test, how are you? Should print out, you said test, how are you? And then over here it should say client said test, how are you? So now you should be able to keep on typing things in, and it should pretty much keep on saying it to you. And if you type exit, it should just exit out. So that's that, and that's pretty much the Echo server, guys. I hope you like it. I'm sorry about the errors. Let me know what you guys think, and in the next video, we're probably going to be making a chat room. So thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.